12 rounds, ding ding. Sick and tired of the whole damn thing, yeah. Stick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Maybe foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no. Got the belt like a king. Heavyweight champion of the whole damn thing, yo. Full of gas, full of spin. Jekyll and Hyde, you're the evil twin. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, you're never gonna. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Maybe foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, no, no. Be lucky if I stick around. Maybe foolish, but I ain't a clown. No, no, no. You're never gonna keep me down. You're never gonna keep me down. No, 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 no.
I keep myself in the dark, shadows watching over me, over me. You flicked the switch, made a spark. From then on I wore my heart upon my sleeve. With you I bear all the scars. I was left with paper skin, you let me in. A different home, broken start. Baby, where do I begin? I begin. Rising up, we touch the sky. Won't be promising that I won't ever let you fall. We could build a mountain stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Oh, like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, hey. You found me after the fire, like a diamond in the rough. We're strong enough, raising the beds, pushing higher, risking everything for us. It's all for us. Rising up, we touch the sky. Won't be promising
Hello once again. It's Thursday and it's another edition of EPT Retro, the show where we take a look at the early seasons of the European Poker Tour with new contemporary commentary. 2020 vision on 2009 era poker. Hello again, everyone. I'm James Hartigan, joined by Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies. I'm ready to party like it's 2009.
Fantastic. And we also have a very special guest today. Please welcome to EPT Retro, EPT photographer extraordinaire, Neil Stoddart. Greetings, Neil.
Hello, everybody.
And this is, to be clear, not to be confused with Neil Johnson, who we often see announcing the action at the table during the early seasons of the tour. But Neil, we have seen plenty of you in these old TV shows lurking in the background, doing your job, basically. And I guess that's the best place to start is how and when did you first get involved with the European Poker Tour?
My first event at the European Poker Tour was season 3, Copenhagen, but I wasn't actually officially working for PokerStars or the EPT at the time. I'd just taken a little bit of a punt. I'd been playing in a poker tournament in the Caribbean, and while I was out there playing in that poker tournament, I'd seen quite a lot of the poker magazines that were floating around and didn't really think that the pictures in those magazines were really capturing the feel and vibe and the emotions that I was feeling when I was playing in a big tournament. So when I came back from that tournament, I had a little look around to see if there was any major tournaments going on close to me, and I found out that the European Poker Tour was about to do an event in Copenhagen. So I just jumped on a plane and went over there and blagged my way into getting a media pass. And people seemed to like what I was doing. Picked up a little bit of work on the back of that one, and then worked for a different company in Deauville. And then by the time Monte Carlo came around, at the end of EPT season 3, I was the official photographer for the European Poker Tour.
And if we fast forward now 13 years, any poker player who you do a Google image search on, chances are your name is watermarked on that photo.
There's a pretty decent chance, especially if they're from Europe.
And I imagine you obviously have your own memories, your own stories from the early seasons. Today we're going to Dortmund, an event which was on the tour for 3 seasons, 3, 4, and 5. When we get to season 6, Berlin becomes the German leg of the tour. What are your memories of Dortmund? I only got to go there once, and I barely remember it.
It was an interesting event. It was held in a casino in a forest. So it was a little bit like the Blair Witch Project of poker. We'd get bussed out to this casino in the middle of seemingly nowhere. It was about 45 minutes away from where we were staying. And we'd go over there. It was a beautiful casino, actually, a really big casino. So it was perfect for hosting the European Poker Tour events in Germany, which were wildly successful. So it had a lot of space, and the facilities inside the casino were excellent. Used to get lots of free gummy bears in the media room. I remember that clearly.
I remember the gummy bears now. The Spielbank Hohenseberg was the venue for this event. March 2009, because we're on season 5 of the tour right now, and 667 entries in this 5K main event. We are going to pick up the action when they are already into the money. 64 players were paid in this event, a min cash worth €6,600. 35 players roughly remain at the point we pick up the action. And interestingly, we've got a couple of familiar faces making a deep run. One of those players is the reigning champion of Dortmund, Mike Timex Mcdonald, and the other is Luca Pagano, a player who at this point is climbing up the EPT rankings, has had numerous final table appearances, and I think it's fair to say, Neil, at this point you've probably taken countless photographs of Luca in action because he was a stalwart of the tour at this point.
Yeah, he was super consistent. I mean, I think he was known as Mr. Consistency. He always seemed to be on these TV tables, always seemed to make deep runs.
Apologies, but Victoria Corrin couldn't make it today. You have to make do with Joe.
Neil, that origin story, that's something, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting way to get into the industry. I was doing a lot of music photography before that. But the music photography, although it was a lot of fun, it wasn't paying that well. So I was looking for other opportunities. And I was a big fan of poker. I was playing a lot of poker. So yeah, it seemed like a logical step to take.
Mike's going to go ahead and complete from the small.
I just feel like that story should be taught to people. Like, this is how you become a go-getter. This is how you get things done.
Yeah, just take a chance. Go for it. If you've got an idea, if you believe in something, just go for it.
So first hand is blind v blind. Reigning champ Mike McDonald in the small blind. Sandra Noyox from Germany in the big blind. Jack 6 versus 8-4. And both flop straight draws.
Technically, I'm not allowed to do commentary over Sandra. No jokes.
Sandra's going to go ahead and make the call of 8,500. For 8,500.
So with Sandra calling the bet, we go to the turn, and that is a pair for Sandra, but the straight for Mike McDonald.
So, you know, oftentimes it can be very frustrating when you make your hand and someone else makes a better hand, but in this case, it's just a 4. 4 on a 4-card stroke. Okay, cool. Now we'll just keep hanging around.
Sandra makes the call.
Obviously, against a player like Mike, you want to just call one time, see if they give up on the river. Obviously, she would have preferred a check here. And Mike McDonald, that's pretty big. Tries to go for really polarizing sizing, hoping that he is up against an ace. And it's the kind of bet that might convince somebody he is trying to buy this pot, as they used to say in 2009, but no, makes the right decision. He was trying to buy your soul.
So we join this hand late, and it is an all-in. This is Riccardo Mazzatelli at risk with ace-jack up against Marco Knoll, who's got pocket fives. We didn't have any coin flips yesterday, Joe. Well, here's a classic race today.
Like Pandora versus My Son, What Have Ye Done? One of these two German things from 2009 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Well, fives are holding, but Mazzatelli has flopped the nut flush draw.
Turn card is the 10 of clubs.
Knoll now a 70% favorite with one card to come.
Any spade or a jack in order to double through. It's the deuce of hearts.
And that will see Mazzatelli bust in 34th place and cash out for 11,600 euros. So we saw Sandra Noyox in action, and I was going to ask Neil, because you were there and will have a better recollection than Joe Stapleton. Sandra's nickname back in the day?
Constantine's under the gun.
I believe it was the Black Mamba. Is that
Correct.
It was
Yes.
a snaky nickname.
Over to Cengiz.
Oh my goodness.
Cengiz Aluzu.
Cengiz Aluzu will bruise you. You know, this guy's fake Twitter account resurfaced recently and started harassing me again.
He's going to raise to 25,000. Alessandro pass over to Mike.
In the early stages, Neil, and I appreciate here we're at around 4 tables. In the early stages, are you trying to make sure that you have a photo of literally every single player in the field? Or is it more just trying to focus on a few key characters and a few key stories that maybe the live updates team and the blog are focusing on?
I think that
100,000 even.
some people would like you to photograph every single person in the field, and I mean, I guess it makes it easier then for bloggers to know that they've always got a picture of that person. But I'd rather just focus on what was actually happening and the interesting hands, the emotions, the reactions, and just try and capture something interesting rather than just somebody looking at their iPhone.
Like someone scratching their chin like a weirdo.
All in, re-raise.
What's this guy doing?
He's put his jacket on. It's time to go. He's all in.
D'accord.
But what is hilarious here is that Noel is the at-risk player. So even if Aluzu loses the classicest and sickest of all races, he will not be eliminated.
I don't understand if the jacket thing was like
Cengiz has queen of clubs,
supposed to be
Marco's the at-risk player.
inducing
He has
a
the ace of
call,
clubs and the king of hearts.
or is this just him?
I think he just enjoys the
The seven of
theatrics.
clubs,
He's a
six of hearts,
character.
three of hearts. The queens are still in the lead. Turn is the queen of
Well,
spades.
that will
That's
seal the
top
deal
card.
on the turn, and Cengiz Aluzu is going to eliminate Marco Noel. He is the 32nd place finisher in this event, cashing for 13,300 euros. And we are still in the era of poker characters. When we were at the PCA earlier this year, we had Umberto Brenes with his Sharks. We've got Cengiz Aluzu. And these are the people we need, Neil. These are the people who make poker interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with just showing a little bit of your personality at the table. I know it's considered good to be stoic and not try and give away too much, but in between the hands, it's there's no harm in showing a little bit of your own personality.
I can't believe we're 10 minutes into this and no one has asked the most important question of all time, the message that needs to be gotten out there from poker photographers to poker players. Are we supposed to look at the camera or not?
No, you're not supposed to look at the camera. Just carry on
There-
doing what you're doing. Don't pose for me. Just be natural.
There it is, guys. There's the official answer. Don't look at the camera, Stapes.
I mean, obviously, Neil, you do a lot of official photographs, whether that's the final table list before the start of play or the winner at the end, the kind of more posed photographs. But I very much get the sense that your favorite is the kind of reportage style of photography where you're just capturing the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the two sides of it, like you say. I mean, if it's a posed photograph, then yes, I'm asking people to look at the camera. I'm asking them to pose in certain ways, and that's something I do enjoy a lot. But for the actual action, you kind of just want to be that fly on the wall. You want to be in the background. You want to let things play out naturally and not feel like people are having to ham it up for you.
Speaking of fly on the wall, have you ever taken poker player nudes before?
I have not, no.
You had to think about it,
Yes.
though.
Yeah, I know. I did just have to double check that one. I think
It
I might
sounded
have
like the
taken some pictures
question
of people in
flopped, but it was
bikinis.
actually, what's that?
I've definitely taken some pictures of people on beaches before, so bikinis may have been involved at some
And the
point.
big blinds.
Okie dokie.
So we've seen the opening raise from Sandra Noyox with 10-9 of diamonds, and Luca Pagano, huge bucks, Broncos, re-raises with kings, makes it 50,000.
How much behind?
Back.
110?
60, 80, 90. Yeah, kind of. One time.
Action back on Sandy. She looks like a Sandy. I'll call her Sandy.
She really doesn't look like a Sandy, and she also doesn't look like the type of person who would tolerate that.
Sandy reaching for chips.
The whole Black Mamba thing, though, with the black hair was very short-lived. She went very glam, if memory serves me correctly, after this event.
I don't know, I think she was always kind of glam in a sort of gothy kind of way.
Yeah, I guess it was the kind of the gothy vibe that was dropped. I mean, and then kind of, I remember having, having brown hair rather than black hair and not dressing in black all the time.
Isn't that very Sandy?
No, because Sandy, by the end, was dressed in black because she was kind of like, one of the bad people with Danny. And they fly away in the car at the end and she starts smoking and everything.
I know, it's awesome.
Konstantin Cengiz.
Favorite card protector you've ever photographed, Neil?
All in. Konstantin announces raise, all in.
I'm going to
I
guess
don't know
it's...
if I actually have a favorite, but I do enjoy a card protector. It does change things up a little bit. Happy to see them.
There's this rich guy in Malta who is using an actual dwarf as a card protector, a person you just put on the table.
9-10, 9 of hearts.
So Maya with his rubber ducky gets it in with 10-9. Cengiz Aluzu calls with ace-jack.
Flop is 6 of diamonds, 4 of clubs, deuce of clubs. Neither player has a club in their hand. Let's see the turn. Turn card is an 8. Konstantin's picked up a gut shot.
Okay,
Draw here to a
a
7.
few more outs now.
Ace-jack is still in the lead. He's looking for a
10s,
7,
9s,
10.
and 7s all still live for Maya.
River card's another
But with the
8.
board pairing on the river, ace-high holds, and Konstantin Maya will be eliminated in 29th place.
In 29th place.
Cengiz Luzu. Look at all those chips.
Thank you. Thank you. Are we gonna finish?
Oh, that was very sweet.
Yeah.
They're bringing us about.
Are you seeing any faces here, Neil? You're like, oh, yeah, I remember that guy, but we haven't seen them since. You know, we've got, obviously, Aluzu here. We've got a player like Johan Starakas, who was a regular on the tour during the early seasons.
Johan Starakas is still a regular on the tour. I think
That's
he
true.
Was, ran very deep in Barcelona in the last one we did there. So,
He did. He final
there's
tabled.
still a few people here who have had a bit of longevity about them.
You know why? It's because he's immortal. Johann Staroker's Dracula.
This is a raise from Alexander Mioni with pocket eights.
Raised to 17,500.
Sandra has queen 10 in the small blind,
So Sandra, she's going to pass it.
and Luca
You
is in
guys-
the big blind with queen 9 suited.
Raised to Luca.
I think I was muted for a second because you guys didn't laugh at that Dracula joke.
No, no, we weren't muted. And we're going to go heads up to the flop.
Right? 17.5. Yeah.
All right, these guys are going to go heads up to the
Snowmen's.
Love me some snowmans.
flop. Is 5
Little
of spades.
paisan on paisan action.
Luca's first.
Sorry, I think we need to relive that flop.
Luca's going to check. It's
Come
Yes.
on. Come on, what is
Queen
that?
of diamonds. Luca's
He's
first.
trying, James.
Luca's going to check. It's over to Alessandro. He's going to bet 21,000. Back to Luca.
Well, Pagano with the best hand
Luca's going to make the call.
calls the continuation bet, and these two Italians will go to the
Let's see the
turn.
card. Turns a 7 of clubs. Luca checks.
I like the care the dealer takes with each of the cards. He gives them each their own little special attention. Like, there you go. Cengiz Luzu sending back a water.
Let's see the river card.
Check, check. And a 3 on the river. Luca has a lock on this.
30.
30. Luca bets 30,000.
These are the situations we live for in poker. Obviously, flopping a set, turning a flush, all good, but just having top pair at a board you don't really have to worry about.
Alessandro's going to pass.
That's our bread and
Luca's gonna
butter.
take the
And
flop.
then having your value bet called on the river.
Yeah, you get a little worried when you get called there so quickly and confidently, and then they're like, oh, no, you're just terrible.
So we mentioned the Ept rankings. They were still a thing in Season 5, accumulating all the points that players had earned since the beginning of the tour back in 2004. And at this moment in time, Luca is third in the rankings, behind Sebastian Ruthenberg, who kicked off Season 5 with a win in Barcelona. Elke number 1, aided in no small part by his wins in the PCA 2008 main event and PCA 2009 high roller.
Finished third.
Also probably aided in no small part by the amazing photography of Neil Stoddart.
That's my game.
Thank you.
Wow,
thank you.
really? So I'm going to, and there was a television?
Neil, here's the other big question, I think, right?
So I'm not going to
The
go
number
for
one or number two most asked questions of poker photographer.
Yeah, nice story.
has anyone ever been like, get out of here, you bother me, get out of my face.
Actually, I was just thinking about this the other day. I think in the entirety of like whatever it is, 12 seasons, 10 seasons, 11 seasons that I've done, I've only ever had 2 people complain about pictures that I've taken of them. I do
That's after the
try.
fact.
I do, yeah. I mean, I don't think I've had. Oh, actually, no. I have had someone who said no, go away, and that was at a double USOP event. It was Toby Maguire, in fact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
Let's see.
So we're going 3-way to this
The
flop.
hearts, the 9 of clubs, the queen of diamonds.
I actually want to just take a second to emphasize how ridiculous that is. That of all of the people Neil has taken pictures of, the thousands and thousands of people, the only one that was like, get out of here, was Toby Maguire.
Yeah, probably the one who's been photographed by more people. To be fair to him and to give him a little bit of slack, I think he was getting hassled by a lot of people that day, and a lot of people were up there taking pictures of him. But I wasn't one of them, and so I was just going up there for the first time, and it did feel a little bit annoying at the time.
Turns a jack of clubs, queen, jack.
You just hate to hear it. I was a huge Pleasantville fan.
Pair of 9s against a pair of 8s here. Mione has checked the turn. Action on Sandra Noyox.
And after the...
Whoa.
Wow, see, after the hand we just saw Mione play where he like quickly and confidently snapped with a pair of 8s, I wouldn't be all that keen on bluffing him. But to be fair, he was only up against one overcard there. It might be a little hard on him.
Well, let's take a look at the leaderboard at this point in time. The penultimate day of the Ept Dortmund main event from March 2009. Holger Kanisch from Germany currently holds the chip lead with 690k. Cengiz Aluzu is in the top 5, as is William Thorson. Florian Langman is a top 8 stack, and there's a couple of players who we don't see on the circuit anymore, Neil, but were dominant during the early years. Thorson and Langman.
Oh yeah, I've got some very fond memories of William Thorson in particular. He was a legendary guy on the EPTs, both on the tables and away from the tables. A very generous and friendly guy. So yeah, good guy, William Thorson.
Neil, I feel like you must have ended up partying with like 90% of the big names in poker at some point.
I may have shared a beer with 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah.
So this is Sandra raising with King 10 around to the blinds, and that is the chip leader, by the way, Holger Kanisch. He's just joined the feature table. Cengiz Aluzu is in the big blind with 9-7 of spades. I just love this guy's demeanor.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's the kind of guy who's definitely considered having a trap door installed somewhere.
Go ahead and make the call of 21,000.
He likes to put in extra, that guy. He's feeling generous. He's got more than enough.
For 21,000 apiece, Sandra and Cengiz are going to go heads up. 7 of clubs, 9
wow.
ace of hearts. Cengiz is first.
2 pair for Aluzu. Checks it.
And Sandra is gonna do him a real solid.
Check, Sandra bets 32,000.
Bet of 32,000.
I don't know if we can trust Cengiz to not raise here. And you can understand why he might, from the position Sandy raised from. She's going to have a lot of aces.
Race.
Cengiz announces raise.
But I think when he raises here, actually he's got such bravado that maybe he can actually make this raise look bluffy, but if we're only analyzing the action, I think that this looks very strong. I think he's gonna have 7-9 a lot. He's gonna have ace-9, ace-7, all big blind defending hands, and you're gonna get hands like king-10 to fold, king-queen, all the hands that might take a second stab. But like I said, I think Sandra having an ace is a pretty reasonable assumption. She should be just saying bye-bye to this hand.
Sandra's gonna pass, and Cengiz takes the pot.
She folds it, and Luzu wins the pot. I forgot to ask, Neil, where are you right now? Where in the world have you been situated for this bizarre couple of months?
You can take this one.
Well, I was within a whisker of being in Sochi, I think. I was about 2 days away from flying out to Sochi. And I could have been stuck in the Russian mountains, which, although beautiful, are probably not the place that I wanted to spend the entirety of a rampant global virus. So actually, I'm down at home, which is in Brighton, which is on the south coast of the UK, about an hour south of London.
I've been there to visit Neil and another old EPT legend, Matt Harper. Loved.
Right. You performed gigs down here, haven't you?
I did one gig at a very prestigious comedy club in Brighton, and all y'all came out. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was a great night. I really enjoyed it.
So
I've actually been very nostalgic lately about my time living in England.
we have got a potential battle of the big stacks here. Chip leader Holger Kanish is open with 10-9. Cengiz Aluzu has called with king-4 of diamonds.
Heyo.
More?
14 more.
Look at Luca with his black shirt and his red spades on the lapels.
Luca makes the call.
Silver spade necklace.
Perfectly smooth chest. Go to the flop.
Flops the 3 of diamonds.
Nice flop, Luca.
Luca's first, and he's going to
The
check.
case 10.
Wow, so top pair for Kanish, top set for Pagano.
He's going to bet 54,000.
And
53,000.
Cengiz Aluzu maybe still can get a little weird in the middle. Oh, what a dream. Yes, reach for more.
Nope. Backdoor draws, not enough to keep him interested. So action on Pagano.
You know, I think maybe he never had intention of putting chips in at all.
All in.
I think he might have been faking it.
Luca announces re-raise. All
Luca check raises all in.
Can you pull 53,000 off?
This is kind of a tough fold. I guess ultimately, with your kicker problems, the fact that there's not a ton of draws Luca's supposed to have.
The re-raise is 183,000 more.
I would struggle to make this fold. I think ultimately I would make the fold. You can really blame Cengiz Aluzu for this, because his call in between. Did he call or 3-bet with the king-4?
He called.
Yeah, his call in between just makes this very weird, right? Like, it makes Luca maybe sometimes flat
Call.
with hands like. Oh, see?
Oh, I love the way Luca slapped down those cards. And
On your backs.
Kanish is drawing dead, right? Running nines, no good. Yeah.
More like can't-ish.
Turn card is the 8.
So this is going to see Luca Pagano double up through the chip leader.
That was one of the best burns I've ever seen. Like, here's some racks. So you can pay him off.
I think one of the players at the table is being balanced off. I think it might be Johan Starakas, who is due to post the big blind on the next hand. Down to 3 tables now, fewer than 24 players remaining.
183 more.
So you should take those. 53, right?
Every time we pan across the room, Neil, I'm trying to see if you're in action.
Good luck, guys.
Oh, I'm very discreet. You probably wouldn't be able to spot me.
I will say this, it's easier to spot you with a beer in your hand on the rail than it is with a camera.
We're over to Cengiz. Cengiz is going to make the call of 8,000. Over to Amir.
Luzu limps with ace-9.
Neil, you actually probably took one of the best photos ever taken of me. It was a very, very early gig of mine in Shoreditch at Dirty Dick's, and I still use it to this day. Thank you for that.
No problem. I remember that gig as well. You, I think you generously bought me a couple of shots that night. So yeah, thanks to you as well.
No problem.
So we've referenced that Mike Mcdonald is the reigning champion, took down Dortmund in Season 4. He's called with Queen 10, Pagano in from the small blind with King 3, and then we have Jochen Luca in the big blind. Nine, 3 of
man.
hearts.
I would have had so much fun with this guy's name. There's the luck thing. Let's have a look at the flop with 9 tray. Oh man.
Well,
He's not going to last very long, is he?
what is this with case cards, right? All the 10s were out last time. All the 9s are out this time.
Oh, I just had another brilliant idea for a poker change, James.
What's that?
Some of the cards, there's a 5th card.
Oh, God.
But when the 5th card shows up, whenever that does, right, that one doesn't count. But it makes it easier to make quads. It makes it easier for the case card to hit.
I'm on board with a lot of your suggestions, but this one is terrible.
You need to think about it a little longer. Just sleep on it.
See there at the top of the screen, Moritz Kranek, who we saw win in Deauville yesterday, has just been eliminated in 21st place. And there is the all-in from Luca, the call from Cengiz Aluzu.
Don't worry about the chips. We'll do them at the end. Let's see, please, gentlemen. He's called you.
Or like Cengiz Awinu.
Johan's got 9.
Show the cards, Cengiz. Don't slow roll the guy.
Johan is the at-risk player. Let's see the turn. Turn is the deuce.
Ah, that's it. That's as close as you're going to get.
King will chop it.
You take the king for the chop, but the jack on the river doesn't change anything. And so we see the elimination of Jochen Luca in 20th place, cashes out for 17,000 euros.
Don't look right in the camera. Especially while Neil's here. Wait, was that you? That was him. That was Neil.
I missed it.
Right there. Right there.
What we should have done is gone back and just put together like a showreel, Neil, of all the moments when you accidentally appeared in the background of a shot from all of the years of the EPT.
The reason that I don't appear that many times is that normally I was getting told off by a TV director.
And by the way, I didn't mean to make it sound like you're more often drinking than taking photos. I just meant when you're working, we don't spot you very often.
Yeah, as I say, like mostly there was either a TV director or a cameraman pushing me out of the way, saying, get out, you're in shot.
Except for the times where like, get in, we need there to be people.
Yes.
We're a fickle bunch. This is a sweat with Luca opportunity, Joe. We're going to play it from Pagano's perspective. We're only going to see his whole cards. And we know that his raise has been called by Sandra Noyox in the big blind, but Luca has flopped top pair.
Yeah, you're pretty happy about top pair here. Perfectly happy to continuation bet. Or not. Fine. Interesting. Cool. Just going to go for value on later streets, I hope, or induce a bluff. And I don't think we should really do anything else besides just call here. Our hand's just that weird middle strength where we like it, but we don't love it. And now we have got aces and fours with the king kicker. We no longer have to worry about kicker problems. The fact that Sandra's loading up here again, I don't love it. She's betting 60,000 into 197,000. I think we can just call. It's just a pretty easy call by today's standards, I think. Anybody disagree?
The pot adjusted when she made the bet, so it's actually 60 into 137. So it's near half pot. I don't know whether that changes.
Not really. Like we like it. I like it a little bit less now. Thanks for correcting me there. Yeah, I like it a little bit less, but we can't fold top pair. We don't have to worry about our kicker anymore. I am a little bit worried about a four sometimes. The way we played it, she could bet a king. And I think we're going to chop a bunch now, too. Kind of why I like to bet the flop. I think we would have a better idea of what's going on right now. Also, we may have just won it on the flop and not been in this position.
1 minute.
James, I don't know if I can talk for a whole minute. Kind of running out of things to say here.
I mean,
Neil, you play poker. What do you think, buddy?
Bad feelings here.
Oh, I'm a fish. I'd be calling here.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I appreciate that every decision is for a significant quantity of chips, and we're entering the late stages of this game, but a lot of time's been spent on this decision, and it was a pure bluff from Sandra on the river.
Yeah, it's just a call. It's a call. It's like, you're going to be wrong sometimes, but if you're I don't know what you're doing if you're folding.
Never ever fold that hand. I don't
Well, if I put her on deuces or something else, for sure I'm going to fold.
I give you 100 to 1. You ever fold that hand for 50,000 on the river?
Hey, William.
Poker lessons from William Thorson. That's the great thing. You're guaranteed to have running commentary on your play when William's at the table.
He's not wrong about what he just said there, by the way. He said it a little combatively, but he wasn't wrong.
Well, he basically just echoed what I was saying in a less direct fashion, which is, why did that take so long? Well, Pagano with ace-8 again up against the ace-9 of clubs of Cengiz Aluzu, and Aluzu flops top pair with a better kicker and the nut flush draw.
So fun. Cengiz Aluzu is kind of living the tournament dream, at least today, where he's flopping trips against other trips. He's got top pair. He flops top pair and the nut flush draw. Like, this is really just poker fantasy camp.
Bet and a call. The board gets wheelie.
I don't know that I would recommend to stop betting there.
Hey!
Yes.
Luca thinks that they're probably chopping, but they are not.
So I guess that's one good reason, that you can check the turn is if you get there, it might be a little deceptive. A lot of people are going to keep betting
Are you going
their
to check?
flush draws.
Cengiz
See,
Aluzu
now,
is not checking.
see, this would have been a more interesting sweat with hand, I think. And Luca, wow, just insta-folds. Well done.
Best case scenario, chopping. Worst case scenario, that. So at this point in time, we are down to the final 16, down to the final 2 tables, and it's Cengiz Aluzu as the chip lead right now. The reigning champion of Dortmund, Mike Mcdonald, second in chips. Luca Pagano, third in the rankings. And then we have the shorter stacks, players like William Thorsen, Steve Jelinek, Johan Starakis, and another former Dortmund champ, Andreas Heuvold, is still in the field. But it's Sandra Neuox who is the shortest stack right now, with 16 players remaining.
James.
Yes, Joe.
James, you don't have to answer me, right? But I'm going to read your face. Does Mike Mcdonald win this back-to-back years?
I'm not going to answer that question. Now, Neil, we talked a little bit about Dortmund and the bus trip there and it being in the forest. What about some of the other places? Because over the last few weeks while we've been doing these streams, people have been asking me and Joe for our favourite destinations, our favourite places. Are you like me where you have this kind of sentimental kind of love for places that we no longer go? Or are your favourites still the stalwart stops like Barcelona, Prague and Monte Carlo that still occur every year?
Well, I've definitely got a lot of love for Barcelona and Prague. I think they're both great cities. We go there at great times of the year. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do away from the tables. The locations of the casinos, the locations of the hotel are in fantastic spots in the cities. So you can get out, you can get to the bars, you can get to the restaurants, you can go and do a little bit of culture stuff if you want to. But yeah, I do kind of miss some of the more funky stops, that's for sure. And it was always a real treat to go somewhere new. I mean, I always loved going somewhere new just in general. So whenever we would go somewhere that was a little bit different, somewhere that I hadn't been to before, I was always super excited to do that. So yeah, places like Warsaw, Budapest, Kiev really sticks out in my mind as somewhere that was very, very different to places that we'd been to before. And also when we got there, people were really excited to have the tour there. I mean, it was a time of real big expansion in the poker industry. And you were breaking new grounds by going to these new countries. And like the local population were really pleased to see us. They were very generous and were fantastic hosts. And yeah, it was good to see somewhere different and to experience a different culture and meet new people.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go to some stops as well that we didn't because there was no live stream or no TV show from those locations. But I'm interested what you did in Vila Moura, because in Portugal there was a very strict rule about no cameras inside the casino. How do you photograph? How do you document an event when you're not allowed in?
I can't believe they took me there, to be honest. I was sure that they were going to find something in the contract that said that they didn't need to take me there on the basis that you weren't actually allowed to photograph in the casino, which would have been fairly reasonable, I would have thought. But apparently I had a watertight contract for the entire season and there was no getting around it. So they sent me out there. So yeah, and to be honest, the blogs, they wanted content as well. They didn't want just walls of text. It's nice to break it up with something else, some visual imagery. So in every single break, I would try and drag players to various locations within about a 3-minute walk of the casino.
Wow.
And try and do portrait photography. So I spent the entire week doing portrait photography, which was fun, actually. I really enjoyed doing it.
There's a lot of photos from Vila Moura with people outside smoking.
That was the issue, though, that was a little bit tricky for me because the breaks are limited and people have other things that they want to do in those breaks, like smoke or go to the toilet. So, yeah. But we got by, and it was fun, and a beautiful place.
So many pictures from the parking lot.
Yeah, there are a lot of pictures from the parking lot.
Wow. At this new feature table, we've got not one but 2 players who enjoy dispensing poker lessons, William Thorsen and Florian Langman.
Yes.
Langman, the runner-up in London in season 4. We've got Pagano, we've got Cengiz Aluzu. 2 tables remaining, playing down to the final 8 now.
Don't go Cengiz to try to please me. Oh, Billy, gonna get it in, dominated, but who cares?
2 pair for Thorson. Aluzu with top and backdoor spades.
Please tell me this bad beat comes with a free poker lesson. See, now I can't tell if this is if he's actually studying Thorson or if this is his pretending to study Thorson because he has top pair, top kicker. Basunki on Twitch says, imagine on the turn. A what? You gotta say what card you want on the turn.
Aluzu raises to 150,000. And at this rate, it's all going to go in on the flop.
Raises another 115,000. William re-raise all in.
Welp.
Thorson shoves, snap called by Aluzu.
Top 2 pair, queen of diamonds, 8 of diamonds.
And Thorson a 4-1 favorite to double up here through Cengiz Aluzu.
That approving face was awesome. He's just like, all right.
William is the all-in player. He's in the lead with top 2 pairs. It's a 7. William in the lead, top 2 pair. Doesn't want to see an 8.
Barry Greenstein would not be welcomed by William Thorson. Instead, it's another 8. Full house for William Thorson. He does double up.
Stay tuned for the lesson.
210, 326,000.
Thank you.
You're telling me you don't raise two slams again?
Yeah, but this is not this.
Yeah, but you can actually set with deuces.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
It's like Freddy versus Jason.
I like deuces more than eight.
Thank you.
The 2 lessons guys sitting next to each other. Phenomenal.
Now, one thing I remember from hosting the live stream 11 years ago is there is one player at this table who we felt had somehow dropped out of a 1970s cop movie. Him!
But I've only one decision to push on the race. I've not before.
He looks like a guy who dropped out of a 1970s cop movie in which he drops out of the future.
Olga Kanish opening here with aces. Ace-9 the hand for William Thorson.
Oh boy.
Timing is off.
Timing is off. Position is off. A 3-bet ting candidate is off. James, they say candidate now. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't.
Yep, your hands are now your candidates. Candidates for raising.
You have them covered, right?
I have 710,000.
I mean, I guess the good news about 3-betting ace-9 is that if you get 4-bet, you can just fold it.
All in. And Holger is going to re-raise all in.
Kanish all in. Come on, William. Let it
What do you
go.
say there? Come on, Billy. Come on.
I know you like the all-in word as well. That makes it tougher.
Dude, This is very not necessary. Ah, it was part of the time, right? It's so weird that people complain now about the pace of play, right? Like, that's the biggest problem with live poker, people say. But this was just as slow, but for different reasons. Like, nobody would be tanking this long now.
I kind of feel he's in no position to lecture Luca about not snap calling with the ace-8 if he's not prepared to snap fold ace-9 there.
Yeah, that's very weird.
Neil, you mentioned that you had a few William Thorson stories. The only time I ever hung out with William was where I was enjoying a pleasant glass of red wine. He literally took the glass of wine out of my hand, smashed it onto the ground, told me I needed a real drink, and then almost waterboarded me with vodka Red Bulls for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, that sounds like a William Thorson story. Yeah, I also remember a time where he seemed to get into a drinking competition with Elke, which was a really stupid thing for Elke to do.
That's so minus EV for Elke.
Hold on a second. Was Elke normal before that?
Are you saying that Elke became this kind of like strange Max Headroom type character as a consequence of the drinking battle with William Thorson?
Yeah, he just broke his brain with
on that
beer.
evening he walked into a glass wall. So there was that.
Aces this time for Florian Langman, who has just called Holger Kanish's open with King Jack.
Can't believe Kanish is having to take on both of the table professors. Hey, James, Jim Peters, if you think this is slow, try chess with classical time controls.
No, thank you.
Wait, this guy's literally a cop.
Voldemir Koppel. I know, it's too good. Where's Ponch?
Imagine being an undercover cop and having to introduce yourself as the last name Koppel.
Well, he has re-raised. And looks like Kanish, the original raiser, is going to fold. So it's now on Langman.
All in.
Yeesh. What do you do now?
Covers me.
Well, I'm inclined because I can see the whole cards to say fold. Right. I mean, look.
I love Zep 4's suggestion. He needs to call for backup.
Look, a 3-bet out of the big blind looks very, very strong. I think Ace Queen is one you can get away from when you get 4-bet all in.
I'm happy to win, not have sweat and all in.
Good bet.
I think Ace King is a way tougher call there. Call / fold. But Ace Queen, I think you can get away from it often enough.
Now, Elastoid's asked a question, clearly as a joke. If you die in the tournament, do you die in real life? All I will say, Elastoid, is a few years back, I half-seriously proposed an idea of $1 million free roll. But when you were eliminated, you're actually eliminated. So only the survivor wins, but only the survivor lives. Genuine jeopardy at a level never before seen in poker. Frighteningly, there were a handful of people who thought it was an amazing idea.
Not nearly as frightening as the guy who came up with it.
As I said, it was half joking.
Half.
People like watching high stakes. There is no stake higher than that.
One stack of yellow, nothing behind.
It's red behind. Oh yeah.
Finally, we see something normal. Just call from the big blind with ace 10 suited. If you're wondering why his head's tilted down like that, it's because of the jelly neck.
Well, I was going to say, there's another player, Steve Jelinek, who I haven't seen for many years.
No, me either, but he was a total regular for about 3 or 4 seasons, wasn't he? Appearing almost every stop.
Cool, that's a fun turn card. Loser maybe with the opportunity to suck back out on Thorson. Jelinek sticking around with jacks. That's optimistic.
A loser.
Yeah, your jacks are no good now, pal.
It's a spade on the river. It's the jack of spades on the river. Jelinek River's a no good set. Aluzu with the flush.
This is the best river card I've ever seen.
Imagine this was the river card in the format that I just described. Goodbye, Steve Jelinek. I'm just going to throw it out there, but the huffing and puffing every time he has a monster is a bit of a tell.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone knew that back then, but yes.
Cengiz bets 125,000.
This is a pretty weird spot for ace 10. I think you can actually totally understand why he would call here. Aluzu looks like the kind of guy that might just blast off on the river for no reason when it's checked to him.
How much does Steve Jelinek absolutely hate this spot?
It's weird because it's probably backwards in his mind. I bet he thinks that he is beating Aluzu and that maybe it's Thorson who has the flush.
If he'd only just folded on the turn, wouldn't have to face this horrible decision now.
That would be an interesting thing, too, if you could decide, like, you think you have 2 outs. One of them will actually lose you way more money.
Aluzu wins a huge pot. Adds 659K to his stack.
Lessons.
Maybe he was genuinely stressed.
Why didn't you move me? I saved like 200,000. Was that call? Yes, yes. Who was check?
Check. 50 bet on flop, check. 50 bet on the turn from call. I hit my set.
Hey, I'm not the one on trial here.
I don't think anyone has an ace. But he probably had an ace, I don't know.
He did.
Right? He must have something.
You must have something.
Maybe 2 pairs.
I enjoy watching the trickle-down blameonomics on that side of the table.
Absolutely. 8-16 the blinds. King 7 here for Steve Jelinek, and he's relatively short, and he's going all in.
It's 156.
We have seen so many aces today.
Yeah.
Steve says it's 156,000.
No, I like the glory.
Okay, no problem. You get more back.
Maybe.
You have to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and this is certainly an occasion when you should be holding them.
Luca makes the call.
Held.
156,000. Cengiz and Valdemar will pass. So will Holger on the button.
Pretty sure Neil just called him Voldemort. Neil Stoddart, were there ever any hilarious mix-ups between you and Neil Johnson?
I think Neil's just taking a short break.
Oh. Probably saw a bird outside or something. Had to go get his camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, Luca has pocket aces. Steve has king of clubs, 7 of spades. Luca has him covered. Luca
Jibster
has
on
ace
Twitch
of
says the
clubs,
deck
ace
is
of
hot.
hearts.
The deck is always hot. There's no beating the
Blessed,
deck.
Luca. How does it feel to be blessed?
The flop comes king of hearts,
Well,
10 of hearts, 5 of hearts. Steve's
good
picked up a
news
pair of
is
kings. Luca's still in the lead with his aces. Luca also has the only
if
heart
Jelinek
to
hits
play.
another king,
Let's
it
see the
won't be
turn
a
back.
heart. Something.
Oh, well, that takes away the 7 as an out.
Steve again needs a king or a non-heart 7 in order to double through here.
7, no good.
7 of hearts was bad anyway.
Now
He
the
needs
7 comes, just because you said it.
Steve's looking for a king at this point in time.
Thanks for saying that.
Oh my God, it does come.
7 of hearts.
It was the 7 of hearts anyway, though.
Flush.
It was a 7 of hearts anyway.
Good luck, man.
Steve's going to finish EPT Dortmund.
Jelinek eliminated in 14th place, cashing for 25,000 euros.
Didn't mean to call the 7.
You call it in, man.
Neil, Joe was just asking if you ever got confused with Neil Johnson, whether having 2 Neils on the tour caused any problems.
Actually, when I got invited to be on this show, I thought I'd been confused with Neil Johnson. But I heard there was going to be free cookies, so I kept my mouth shut. And just, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. But
Wait,
yes,
you got cookies?
on several occasions, I was sent emails asking my thoughts on tournament schedules and structures and things like that.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Which, you know, I always responded with and gave my opinion, but just been an amateur basis.
So you had the opportunity to completely change the face of the EPT and what a festival would look like, and you didn't take it?
I thought that might be just overstretching my pay grade a little bit.
Wait, you guys don't remember how the EPT ended and there was that other tour for a second? That was because Neil Stoddart replied and everyone just listened. He was like, here, I don't know, guys, how about we end the EPT? And people were like, great job, Neil Johnson. He was like, hold on a second. They were like, too late.
Not guilty.
59,000 chip raised.
Oh, yeah. Oh, baby, what a reaction.
So we could be going 4-way to the flop here. Aluzu with king 6, Koppel with deuces, Canish with ace 10, and now we have Matthias Kirschner with king jack suited in the big blind.
I don't know why, but Matthias Kirschner kind of seems like he wants to blast off here. So stressed out. I mean, he did fly himself here in a propeller plane.
I'm all in.
Aha!
From Matthias.
This might actually get through.
It might get through, but man, oh man, any one of these three people just be like, I have ace king, I call.
He'll pass. So will Valdemar.
Clearly. 380.
How dare you try and push me off king 6? So it's just Canish to get through, who does have the best hand with ace 10.
Bogart's going to pass as well, and Matthias takes the pot.
The shove does get through, and he celebrates with a glass of lukewarm water.
We call that a hardigan.
Bogart's going to pass as well, and Matthias takes the pot. We are down to 11 players now, gentlemen.
11 remaining, according to Neil Johnson.
Johnson.
Oh, it's another sweat with Joe. Time to play from Luca Pagano's perspective.
Okay, let's do it.
Hello to Baines86. My dream is to win EPT, WPT, and World Series of Poker, otherwise known as the Triple Crown. Baines says, currently, I am nowhere near at these goals.
I mean, technically, no one is. There's not even tournaments happening, so you're fine.
Hold friendly. Always.
Okay, small to big. He announced his raise, so we have exactly one hand of information about this guy. And it's that he lost his mind with King Jack suited. His strong announcement of, I raise, does not feel very strong to me. However, I like to just take these spots, just call.
Luca will make the call.
And reevaluate.
5 of spades, 3 of spades, 10 of diamonds. Matthias is first. He's going to check.
Cool, we get a free turn card. I'm perfectly happy with that.
Let's see the turn card.
Turn card is a deuce.
5, 3, 10 deuce. 2
Straight draw for Pagano. Ace high could still be the best hand.
Matthias checks.
Perfectly happy to take this. There he is. There's Neil Stoddart. Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Ace on the river.
And it looks like Kirshner is now going to bet 100K into 114,000.
Didn't this guy direct the Empire Strikes Back?
Oh man, this is actually a pretty tough one. Like, I think he's gonna do this with like a 10 sometimes. This guy's crazy, right? Not crazy, I don't want to say crazy, but he is erratic. This is pretty tough. I think he's gonna have a 4 sometimes, and I think he's gonna have like Queen Jack sometimes. I think he's gonna have Queen 10 sometimes.
I mean, I kind of feel the same way about this hand as I did the last sweat with Luca. I think this is probably a call.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it errs on the side of call, but I don't know if it's a slam dunk. Like, I don't know. I think it's very close. Neil, where are you leaning?
I'm a fish. I'm calling.
Yeah. But crucially, I hope this isn't another situation where Luca takes forever, calls, pair of aces good, and William Thorson then has to berate him again.
No, I do hope it's that. Yeah, I think it's just a call, but I do think sometimes he's going to have backed his way in here with a 4. But I think most of the time, it's like Queen Jack.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Wow. Not 1-4, 2 fours, had the straight, and Luca got away from it there.
Fun hand.
So here's where we are at, Dortmund. And it's Johan Starakas who is the current chip leader, just ahead of Luca Pagano. Plenty of locals in the field, including Kirschner, Langman, Mark Gork, and Holger Kanisch. And of course, Mike Mcdonald still going for that second Dortmund title. Voldemar Kopel is now the short stack, and I guess the other Neil Johnson, couldn't count properly because there are 12 players remaining, not 11.
I think Neil probably had it right at the time, and maybe the graphic was a little out of whack. That's just me.
I don't know, after that fracas with the 7 and upsetting Steve Jelinek.
Yeah, that job was tough.
He raises to 50,000.
It seemed during these seasons, well, certainly before Neil kind of took the role full time, that they were just randomly pulling people off the rail to announce at the table. They didn't ever ask you to do that, did they, Neil?
Fortunately, they did not. But yes, I do remember that we had some pretty interesting card callers at various times.
I've seen
I think one in Budapest stands out in particular.
Who in Budapest, sorry?
I think the local casino guy in Budapest.
Oh, right, okay.
Shakespeare in some of his hands. Much ado about nothing.
I've heard some epic tales of that Budapest stop.
Flop is 10 of hearts, 6 of clubs, 5 of spades.
That's another one that we didn't get to go to. So a set of 5s for Thorson. Only the one overcard for Kirschner to be worried about, in his mind.
What you playing?
Well, I'll let you field this question, Neil Stoddart. Elastoid asks, which is a better city for poker, Prague or Budapest?
Strictly for poker, I would say Prague. I mean, it's a bigger city. There's more stuff going on there. The event that we host every year in Prague is absolutely huge. Budapest, I think we went there for one season only, maybe 2 seasons. I think it was 1 season. But in terms of numbers and the amount of events that go on, Prague by far.
Well, this hand goes to the turn, which is the King of Hearts, and Thorson is now a 95% favourite with his set.
This might be good news for Kirschner. Doesn't look like Thorson's going to slow down at all. Aha, he does.
William checks.
This guy holds his water glass very funny, doesn't he?
He needs a lot of refreshment.
I feel like this is the easiest check back in the world.
I love the fact that you just got that line in right before he loaded up and just shipped a stack of yellow into the abyss. 140,000. I mean, not drawing completely dead, but only has 2 outs. And we might not get to the river because Thorson has now moved all in.
Whoops.
And considering that Kirschner's bet was 140k and Thorson's all-in was 256k, I'm slightly surprised he didn't call with the 8s. Fun times.
You know, that's something about modern day poker that we think about that, right? That's why we don't make that bet with eights, because the good poker players, and I am not one of them, they go, okay, I make this bet with eights. What happens if he jams on me, right? They go through all of the eventualities, and you realize, well, if I make this bet with eights, I'll be sort of mathematically obligated to call the all-in, so I won't make this bet with eights.
William's going to go ahead and complete. So the option's going to be on Luca in the big blind. He's going to check his option.
Okay, so this is unraised. The limp from Aluzu. Thorson completed in the small. Pagano checked his option in the big. The flop is 9-7-4. Top pair for Pagano. Second pair for Thorson.
James, all of this information unnecessary. How does Aluzu get there? That's all I need to know. What does he need?
Well, an ace would do it for him.
Yeah.
Running diamonds wouldn't work. Running fives.
3-6.
Yep.
Luca bets 55,000. Cengiz will pass. Back to William.
At this point in time on our EPT Retro streams, we're on Season 5 of the EPT, of course. When we get to Season 10, and we won't because we're only going to take these streams up to Season 6, but when the tour reached Season 10, the EPT book was produced. Neil, how involved were you with that? Did other people just go through your stuff, or did you have any of your own suggestions of photos that should be included?
I was given requests, and people were asking me what I thought would be wise, or looking for particular pictures of particular players. But on the whole, it was produced and compiled by somebody else. But yes, I mean, I would suggest that the vast majority of the pictures in there were ones that I took.
It's got to be some insane percentage, like 96% of the photos in there.
Aluzu had ace-5, right? So he would have got there had he stayed in the hand.
I knew it. I knew it.
Aluzu.
Man, oh man, to have William Thorson call here with a 7, you in the pot, and you get to give him a lesson.
William's going to make the call.
Yes.
Luca shows queen 9 for a pair of 9s. William's going to pass, and Luca's going to take the pot.
Florian, thoughts? Luca? Fine. Neil, you've taken some very iconic photographs. Probably my favorite, at least one that stands out to me, is the EPT Malta, where was the two French guys?
Yeah, that was a very poignant moment at the end of a very long heads up where, the two players shared a nice moment.
One of them was consoling the other after a really long heads-up match. One of my favorite photos of all time. Do you have, I know that you're not exactly this kind of guy. Let's see what happens with this all in, but afterward, maybe if you have a couple of photos you could say are your favorites so people could sort of maybe Google them and get a peek at what you consider to be some of your favorite moments.
Well, we have got the all-in here, and it's Valdemar Kopel who's at risk with Jack-3 against Holger Kanish's ace-6.
He's covered by Holger. He has the 3 of diamonds and the Jack of clubs. He's covered by the ace of spades and the 6 of diamonds. Let's see the flop, please. The flop is the deuce of hearts.
6, deuce, deuce. And now Kanish close to being a 9-1 favorite to eliminate Valdemar Kopel.
He's definitely saying Voldemort. Uh-oh.
Jacks and 4s working for Valdemar, but the river is an 8. And according to Hendemob, an unknown player finished in 10th place. It's this guy, 33,300 euros.
I don't like to call it an elimination. I like to call it a conscious uncoupling.
So we're down to 9, the unofficial final table. We've still got Pagano, McDonald, Aluzu, Thorson, Sandra Noyox. Langman the short stack right now, and blinds at 1530 with a 3K ante.
So what do you say, Neil? What else you got?
Oh, we've got Florians have gone all in here.
Fold it around to Mike in the cutoff. He'll pass. Sandra on the button.
There's a lot of players to get through with 4-3 of diamonds.
Luca in the small blind.
170.
Pagano calling with ace-9.
I hope you have a hand. 170.
I hope so too.
Ah, he doesn't know.
Oh, that's okay. No, that's not okay.
Well, there goes a 3.
I think I need help.
We saw some diamonds folded.
Oh no.
3 clubs flashes up.
Is that relevant? Yeah.
That's an out.
Let's see, please. Florian has 3-4 suited in diamonds. Luca has ace-9. Florian has the 3 of diamonds and 4 of diamonds. Luca has him covered with the ace of clubs and the 9 of spades.
Well, Florian Langman is at risk, but at least he gets a massage from Mark Gork.
Say that.
Tell them. It's
Yeah, then they think I'm lucky.
But let's see the flop, please.
Does have live cards.
Oh,
Flop is queen,
Yeah,
4.
saw the 4 first, but there was a 9 behind it.
9 of hearts, 4 of hearts. Luca has the lead with a pair of 9s. Florian has a pair of 4s. Florian's looking for a 3 or a 4 or running diamonds.
Diamond.
Florian says he'll take the diamonds. Let's see the turn card.
Please makes it interesting.
6 of hearts. No player has a heart in their hand. Florian is going to need a 3 or a 4 on the river in order to double through. Let's see the river card. Ace of spades.
That will see Florian Langman eliminated in 9th place, and that will take us down to the official final table of 8. Langman cashing for 50,000 euros. Everyone else in a position to compete for the first prize of more than 900k. Another final table for Luca, looking for his first EPT win. And of course, Mike Timex McDonald looking to go back-to-back and win Dortmund 2 years in a row. Now will be a good time, before we get to the final table, to answer Joe's question, Neil. Your personal favourites of the photos you've taken over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the picture that Joe alluded to before, the one between Jean Monturi, where he was just consoling Valentin Messina, who kind of collapsed on the table after he lost the heads up there. That was definitely a kind of interesting picture, and a picture that got a lot of traction. But mostly, I think the pictures that I'm really pleased with or proud of are the ones that feel like that they're part of poker history in a way. The ones that feel like that they were of that moment. So maybe Liv Boeree winning her first EPT, Vicky Corrin winning 2 EPTs, Jason Mercier, the winning moment from his first EPT victory.
Yeah.
Antonio Esfandiari when he won the 1 drop. I also got to photograph Phil Hellmuth when I think he won his 8th or 9th bracelet. So just those moments that feel like that they're part of poker history. Those are great to document. They're great to be part of. And hopefully there'll be pictures that kind of stand the test of time a little bit.
Well, let's see if history is made in this event as we play down to a winner and see if Mike McDonald can become a 2-time champion. A bit of a weird start to this final table. It's the schluging of Cengiz Aluzu.
Cengiz will schlug you.
All in a 3-way pot, and Mark Gork dispatches him with a set of jacks. And so when we pick up the action, we are down to the final 7, and it is Timex, Mike McDonald, the reigning champ of this event, who has the chip lead, 1.3 million.
Oh my God, he just might do it.
I should have said 3 to 1, but like, nah, okay, I give you 20. Okay, I'm done.
What a dope final table this is.
Still waiting for Vicky Curran to get here, by the way.
Did anyone ask her?
I thought you did. Joe, I told you to
Not
send the
this
email.
You know I don't read.
I mean, as final table lineups go, they're all unique. They all have something special about them. But this one in particular, considering you've got Luca, considering you've got Mike going for 2 Dortmund titles in a row.
Considering you've got the Black Mamba.
Just what? I can't understand. It's just because of this one.
You should do the EPT live.
Yeah?
I'll put you in on one of my
Okay.
times.
How much is that? 95?
I have a lot of theories about like every single race. They will use that in the EPT live.
You read it in the book yesterday.
Yeah. I make it 250.
That's because you don't want to list 260.
So, Luca, what do you think?
So I was talking to Daniel the other day, and he said back in the day, the 2 flush draws thing here, Ace King versus Ace King suited, people actually thought the offsuit was better because of that. For a long time.
3, 4, 5, 6,
That's
7,
hilarious.
8. Yeah, 850 more. So it's 1.1 total. I like the glasses.
Luca Pagano, come on, buddy.
I can make you another bet.
250,000. What's the bet?
I'll bet he had King Jack. You bet he had 2-7. And the closest one wins. So if
Well,
he
this is
has
interesting.
8 or
No all
It
in
is
pre.
Yeah.
It's like anytime he has an unpaired hand.
Okay, so you get all the pairs. How many unpaired hands do you think you raise with? Do you think you raise with more unpaired hands than paired hands?
Did Gork just say all in?
It's probably pretty close.
It's hard to tell who's
So I'll let you
talking.
win with like the 7.
Well, Thorson's trying to have side bets about what hands they have, but I'm pretty sure that I heard Gork say all in. Yeah, he's just clarified.
Oh, wow.
I'll take
But he went 2-7, so now you take the
I'll take
unpaired
the
hands.
unpaired hands, but if he had King Queen,
I think that you just made me save a lot of money.
No.
When I check, you went all in, or?
I think that you made me save a lot of money.
So it could be like a punt, obviously, at a final table, right? To just like snap, get it in pre-flop with Ace King suited, but that situation right there, not even being up against Ace King, but that situation is why you tend to want to see all 5 cards, because it's really easy once you miss to get blown off your hand. So, you know, it's a chop in that case, but even if you're flipping, you want to see all 5 cards. I think. So we got a limp in from Billy Thorson. Just the rockers, pocket 6s. King Jack from Mike Mcdonald. Let's go like 7 ways to the flop here, eh, guys? Queen 8, Sandy? Nah. Mark,
Yesterday we
Gork.
talked about limping aces in first position. I hope we don't have them.
you have a theory?
You should probably not say that in a multi-way pot. Canish is going to get a free look at the flop with Jack 9. So we are going 5 ways to the flop at a frickin' final table.
5, 5, 5.
Which is King High, King, Jack, 8, 2 clubs. So top 2 pair for Mike McDonald, top pair for Thorson. Canish with middle pair. Thorson in big, big trouble here.
This is one of those hands where you just know the graphics team are panicking because it's like, do we have enough real estate? Do we have enough space for all of these hands?
Someone needs to fold. They just come out and tell. They go, look, guys,
Yeah.
we can only go 4 ways to the flop.
Mike re-raised to 300,000. Mark pass, Olga pass.
Mike McDonald, already pretty dialed in, right? William Thorson limped either under the gun or from very early position, then fires his flop. Mike McDonald knows that he's going to have aces beat. He has ace-king beat.
830.
He is raising. He does not expect Thorson to be playing this way with a weak hand in this spot. Is that Christine Moshman? I believe it was. And don't forget that Mark Gork kind of spoke out of turn in this hand and said, oh, yesterday you were talking about limping aces. And so that might have provided a little extra information for Mike McDonald to know that Thorson's going to have a strong hand in this spot.
Thorson lets it go.
Wow. What a fold.
Neil, do you ever find the opportunity to play when we're on tour? I know that occasionally there's what Joe and I refer to as the caddy swim. There's the media event. But I'm guessing with your work commitments, it's tough to find the opportunity to actually enjoy yourself at the tables.
I think in the first couple of seasons, I was really playing a lot of poker before I got into photographing the poker. And so for the first couple of seasons, I would do a full day of photographing people playing poker. And then the first thing I wanted to do was like go to my room and start like firing up stars and playing poker. But then when we got like longer and longer and longer events, it almost flipped to the other way.
Yeah.
The last thing I wanted to do when I finished like having photographed people playing poker for 12 hours was to go and play poker. But no, I love the media events. They're great fun. Haven't managed to win myself a spade yet, but I think I've come second at least, so I've got close. And at the moment, I play a lot in Brighton. We've got a good pub poker scene going on down here, and I also play in a home game with some other familiar names that you might know of. Mark Convey, Jen Mason, Matt Harper, they all live down in Brighton. So
cool.
He announces re-raised to a total bet of 320,000.
Oh, we've got a hand here.
William passes the
Yeah, Canish re-raises with the ace-king, and it's been folded back around to Mike. Could see a coin flip here.
How much do you have back?
Hey, Mikey, you want to take a flip?
$580.
All in.
Mike announces re-raise, all in.
All in and a call. Let's flip that coin.
Holger calls. Ace king against tens. Mike
And these are two of the biggest stacks. Canish the at-risk player, but it is for a sizable chunk of McDonald's stack.
Like kebab for breakfast versus Bukow and Koenig. One of these two things from Germany in 2009 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Let's see the flop, please.
Mikey.
Flop is jack.
King high flop.
It's the queen of spades.
Open-ended straight draw for Mike McDonald.
Holger has the lead with his pair of kings. Mike now has an open-ended straight. Let's see the turn card. Turn card is the 7 of spades. Holger just needs to dodge a 9 or an ace in order to double through here. Let's see the river.
The river card. is a 6. Holger Kanish doubles up through Mike McDonald. Timex no longer the chip leader at this 7-handed final table.
So that's what happened to Mike McDonald. He lost the flip.
Just to conclude the conversation about the Brighton games, Neil, I'm assuming that these games have moved online in the last couple of months?
Yeah, we've all switched over to PokerStars home games. Yeah, it's good fun. We've kept it on the same day. It always runs on a Monday. So we've kept it on the Monday. And actually they've added a couple of extra tournaments. Normally there's just like a main event at the pub, and then they tend to have a smaller game afterwards. But since we've gone online, we can do a high-low, PLO high-low tournament at the beginning. Then they have the warm-up, and then the main event. There's a high roller afterwards. The high roller's for $20, guys, so it's not that high. But yeah, it's been super fun, and actually I'm running pretty good in that as well. I think
How much is it?
made the final. We get like normally about 35, 40 runners in that, and I've made the final table, I think 4 times, and finished third a couple of times and second once as well. So
how many folks? How many runners do you get?
About 35, I think.
Cool.
So it's a fun game, and as I say, everybody knows each other, so there's kind of a fair bit of banter going on in the game as well. So
Williams all in is for 479,000.
So Thorson shoved the button here for just shy of 500k. Johan Starak has asked for a count, and he is going to call with King Jack.
Mike's going to pass the big blind.
And with Mike McDonald folding, it's showdown. Thorson at risk and behind.
Johan has King Jack, King of Clubs, Jack of Diamonds. Let's see the flop, please.
I'm not sure this would be a present-day candidate for all-in.
7, 9, 10. 7 of clubs, 9 of spades, 10 of clubs. William has taken the lead with a pair of 9s. He also has an open-ended straight draw. Let's see the turn card.
Oof. That's all I have to say about that.
King on the turn. Starakas retakes the lead.
William is going to need a 6, a 9, or a jack here in order to double through. Let's see the river card.
The river is a 4. So in this battle of the Swedes, it's Starakas who comes out on top, and William Thorson is eliminated in 7th place. Cash is for 116,500 euros.
Yeah, I do.
You can leave it for the time being?
Good luck.
I thought we were going to move this chair. You would have had to go to that chair.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Time for Thorson to find the door, son.
Multiple final tables for Thorson. And another 6-figure score.
multiple handshaking. That's not something you see very often these days.
I know, it's just so weird to see the crowd sat there, the players so close together, handling the same chips and cards, the hugs, the handshakes, the high fives, the kisses.
The eyeball licking.
We'll get back there one day, especially the eyeball licking.
I'm really going to miss crawling inside another person's mouth.
And on that bombshell, Luca raises with ace-8.
Folded all the way around to Sandra in the big blind. 70,000 chip raised to her.
I don't know why. I'm not a huge big blind 3-better.
I'm all in.
Sandra announces.
Oh, well, if you're of a shovable stack, then that makes sense.
450.
No
Yeah, so
way
it's like-
Luca's calling here. No way.
95.
Hey, does anybody wants to eat some grapes out of my hand? You, grape? Grape? Anyone? Grape? Grape? I touched all these grapes. Does anyone want to eat them?
Sandra Saunders all in for 536,000.
Right now it's the grapes. Wait till he moves on to the poetry.
Crazy Aussie asks, what does under the gun mean? It just means first to act. It's a violent metaphor to describe the person who goes first.
Good question. Are the grapes seedless?
I don't think I've ever had a seedless grape in Europe. You guys have seeds and everything.
No, we don't. Most of the grapes are seedless.
Nope.
Don't know where you went shopping when you
Old-fashioned
lived there.
grapes with seeds.
Bite again, Black Mamba. That is Kristen Mashman.
Wait, did she take a grape?
I think she may be having a grape. Celebrate getting a shove through with a grape. So then we're going to skip forward a few hands. And we can see that Mike McDonald's keeping his head above water. Gets back into 4th place on the leaderboard. Got the double up. And now back up over 1 million. And in 3rd place, Sandra Noyox is the short stack at the table. Meanwhile, Luca Pagano keeps on shoving but hasn't got any action yet. Blinds 25.50.
I fear for why we've shown him shoving so much and not getting called.
Foreshadowing.
Luca's button.
More like 7 shadowing.
Luca raises all in from the button.
What is happening? Is that a book?
Mark Gork's reading poetry. I told you. First the grapes, then the poetry.
Mark calls from the small blind.
Does he just wish he were in the Acropolis or something right now?
Luca says he has a pair. He's up against ace 9. Luca has a pair of 7s.
Did you remember this, Neil, that there was a guy at the final table of this event who basically sat there reading German poetry?
Yeah, that was one of the more memorable things about the event. It definitely stood out. It's not the usual thing we see at a final table.
I don't think he has more than 800. I think he's got like 780 or something.
Pagano is flipping.
Like Bertolt Brecht versus Friedrich Schiller. Those are German poets. One of these two hands has the slight mathematical advantage.
Nothing. Okay. Luca has 8-12. You have 8, 20, 30.
Io avanzo un coin flip da Monte Carlo, ragazzi. Avanzo un coin flip.
Mark has 844,000.
Confirmation that Pagano is the at-risk player here.
Luca's in the lead with 7s. He has a 7 of hearts, the 7 of spades. Mark has a 9 of clubs, the ace of spades.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Marina, let's see the
That's
flop.
100 too little.
Flop is 10, king, 4. It's the 10 of spades, the king of diamonds.
Not a good
the 4
feeling
of
when you have
spades.
ace 9.
Both players have a spade, however, Mark has the ace of spades. Luca's in the lead with his 7s. Let's see the turn card.
7.
Turn card is
9 on the turn.
That's given Mark
Not a
pair
good
of
feeling
nines.
when you have 2 7s.
Luca's going to be drawing at the 2 remaining 7s in the deck on the river in order to double through. Let's see the river card.
The river card is a 5. Luca has come close so many times, but still no win. Out in 6th place, cashing for 153,000 euros.
Luca Pagano. No!
Such disappointment. Mark Gork feeling a little bit awkward and embarrassed about the whole thing.
There's our pal John, our pal Kara Scott. Cool. Sorry, Luca.
Well, he's moved up 1 spot in the EPT rankings. Silver linings.
Which are, as we've said many times, completely worthless.
But he's 2nd. He might catch
Still
up with Elke if he makes another final table.
Also worthless. Oh, wow. Any actual tears? No? No.
Oh, man. I'm not sure I can continue now.
You can continue. You're fine.
So, 5-handed. And it is Mike McDonald who is now the low man at the table.
Wait, is actually being so upset over a player going broke that we can't continue, is that a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Be careful. It's me in the big blind.
That's no problem.
I love a good be careful from the big blind.
She does.
Neil Johnson.
Mark's going to raise anyway.
I don't know if you got involved with that event they ran in Prague, Neil, which was a sit and go for German qualifiers. I think they were awarding a platinum pass, but Mark Gork was one of the qualifiers who played in that sit and go, and it's the first time I've seen him since this final table.
I wasn't involved in that event, but I think I do remember seeing Mark Gork floating around at the in Prague. And yeah, I mean, he just, yeah, you don't forget the guy who was reading poetry at the final table.
This is incredible.
Okay.
Come on, flop.
Sandra makes a call of 100,000 more.
Oh, it's sevens against ace-9 again.
Right, so for 160,
No one's all in
they'll go heads up
yet.
I won some chips now, that's right. Easy call.
I don't even have anything funny to
The
say
10
about
hearts,
that.
the
Like,
jack of clubs and the queen of clubs.
it speaks for itself.
Sandra's going to be first, and she's going to check.
Look at this. Nonchalant handling of chips. Getting ready to c-bet.
Mark
His
bets
bookmark's nowhere near where he's actually reading.
Sandra says raise, all in.
Oh, check raise all in from Sandra. Now the book gets put down.
That is a crazy shove. Like, up against this exact hand, we know it might work, but man, there's a lot of hands that are just going to snap you here.
Sag mal, was ist los? Machst du richtig Alarm, wa? Hat er jetzt 2 Kreuz, oder? Knappst. Ja.
Mark's going to pass. Sandra takes the flop.
Gork lets it go.
No club.
Doing it the hard way.
Back to his poetry.
No, I don't think so. I've got 9-15.
Okay.
Definitely the short stack.
Yeah. No.
William Thorson still watching from the rail. That was Danny Ryan he was chatting to there.
Mann, du, da hat's einen richtigen Scheppert, wa? Sandra, sag mal.
Tja.
Hat's mal kurz geklatscht, da sind ein paar Chips runter.
Holger under the gun. He announces raise.
Ei.
Ich war aber wirklich gut eben.
Du, das kann ich verstehen. Da kann man auch mal all in.
Forgot all about
Dass
Kanish.
du eine verdammt starke Hand hattest.
One-time chip leader Holger Kanish opening to 135,000. King Jack for Mike McDonald.
It's folded to
And he's
he raises
declared all in.
Call.
Snap called by Sandra Noyax with tens.
We're over to Mark in the big blind.
More than you.
135,000.
Yeah,
915,000.
Holger raised to 135,000. Mike's all in was for 915,000. Sandra has told
I feel like this
115,000
button shove from Mike
on the Mark in
McDonald.
the big blind.
Excuse me, guys. Sorry. I feel like this button shove from Mike McDonald is not something we would see him do these days.
Please no flash photography. Thank you.
Neil!
That wasn't me.
Mark's going to pass. Holger's going to pass. Mike and Sandra now.
Hope I have 3 outs.
Mike says he hopes he has 3 outs. He's got King of Diamonds, Jack of
Or
Hearts,
6 outs.
pocket
I
tens
had
for
to
Sandra,
check.
red.
You had a jack?
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, you gotta not say that.
I'm happy with the shape I'm in.
Mike is the covered player. Sandra has him covered. Mike has the king of diamonds, the jack of hearts. Sandra has the 10 of diamonds and the 10 of hearts.
50-50,
Bulgar
that's
has
definitely.
the jack.
What do you
That's
call?
one of the jacks in the deck gone. Let's see the flop.
I'm confident. I'm actually very confident.
Mike at risk and behind.
Flops the 7 of hearts, the 5 of spades, and the queen of spades.
Weird flop dealing.
Neither player has a spade in their hand. Sandra's still in the
Like
lead with
it.
the 10s. Mike is looking for a king or a jack here. Well, let's see the turn. Turns the 6 of diamonds. Mike now needs one of the remaining kings or jacks in order to double through.
I'm still confident. King of spades.
No king, no jack. Mike Mcdonald eliminated in 5th place. He was the winner in Season 4, a 5th place finish in Season 5, back-to-back Dortmund final tables, amazing achievement, and cashes out for 197,000 euros.
Yeah,
And he was
phenomenal.
never seen or heard from again.
EPT Dortmund final tables. Last year's winner, this year's fifth place.
Yeah, Neil Johnson has just said all that. Come on.
It was my dream to play the heads up with him, and I thought, I'm really sorry about
Wow.
We're just going to get the chair out? Okay, done it.
So to answer your question, James, this is not the one where he won back-to-back. No, clearly not.
Well, I didn't know.
Time to play maracas with Johann Starakas, ace-queen on the button.
You know, speaking of Johann Staraker's Dracula. Ha, Jacula. Now, how have I never come up with that before? I have a bad look-alike for him.
Yep.
It won't work if we're looking at Sandra. He looks like the energy vampire from What We Do in the Shadows.
Isn't that guy bald?
Sandra says re-raise.
Yeah, but the face.
Sandra makes it 500,000 even. Mark passes. Johan says re-raise.
Oh, wow.
Sandra says call.
Starakas shoves after Sandra 3-bet, and he has run ace-queen into ace-king.
Domination Nation.
Is the Black Mamba about to bite again?
Johan is the average player. Sandra has him covered. Sandra's in the lead with the king, kicker on the ace. All right, let's see the flop, please.
Baby Dog says, get him, Sandy.
Flop's the deuce of spades, the 9 of spades, and the 8 of hearts. Neither player has a spade in their hand. Johan now is looking for a queen or running 10 jack in order to double through here. Let's see the turn. Turn card is the deuce of diamonds. Now he's looking for an 8 or 9 for a chop. He's going to need a queen to double through. Let's see the river card.
His cork behind her.
Ace-king holds, and Johann Starakas is eliminated in 4th place. 237,000 euros.
Okay,
3
guys.
German players remain. Gork, Kanish, and Sandra Noyox.
Can we address the fact that he was buckling his belt just there while standing next to Sandra Noyox?
Yeah, that was awkward.
Now, in real life, I can neither confirm nor deny reports that a deal was discussed and agreed between the final 3 players. This was back in the era when deals were not publicized or disclosed on the live stream or TV shows. But clearly, there were some swings in the chips. And
oh my goodness.
the inappropriate behavior continues as Sandra Noyox maintains the chip lead, and Mark Gork drops down to the short stack at the table with the blinds at 40-80. He's moving closer and closer towards her.
Yeah, it is completely unnecessary for his chair to be that close. And look at the tilt of his body.
Small blind calls. Option for Sander. Okay.
Like, in a way, I admire it, right? Like, obviously, this is inappropriate time and place to be schmoozing Sandy. But also, shoot your shot.
I don't know. I kind of preferred it when he was keeping his distance and reading his poetry. He was a lot more charming back then.
They now have 6 children.
I don't know whether Sandra Noyox has children, but she did have a small dog, which I remember her bringing to Ept Barcelona one year, where animals are not allowed inside the venue, and it was hidden in the TV production office. There was a dog in a bag under someone's desk.
Hot girls and dogs go together like German dorks and poetry. Sandy not wanting to get pushed around by this 4 high up and down draw.
Sander pass and Holger takes the drop.
But does fold the best hand.
So the advertised payouts, 307,000 for third, 533,000 for second, 917,000 for the winner. And I think over the years, Neil, we saw them revisit and adjust the payout structures, because with those jumps, I mean, you're just going to get a deal every single time.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put that like premium number out there so that people can see that it's a big prize, but at the same time, you've got to be realistic, and people don't want to pay heads up or super short-handed for massive pay jumps.
Yeah.
Also, ich calle.
Du callst? Wie viel spielt er?
I mean, I don't know. The whole thing feels a little bit weird, this whole dynamic. And if I'm Canish, I kind of feel like I'm playing against 2 people every time I'm in a hand with one of them.
Re-raise all in.
Ziemlich viel, oder? Kann man passen.
Did he flip the coin and then not look at it and just
Yeah.
call it?
Auf 900.000. Re-raise 900.000.
Ah, du noch mal drin. Hat der jetzt richtig ab. Dann mischen wir nochmal.
So Gork has shoved. Canish has re-raised to isolate.
Ja, du wolltest. Aber jetzt ist die Situation anders.
This conversation is a little bit inappropriate.
Das war mir nämlich vollkommen klar. Ich habe die Münzen nur für dich geworfen. Das ist nichts dazu.
900.000. Back to Sander.
Ich wollte mitmachen.
Kopf oder Zahl?
3-way action. Really shouldn't be having this discussion.
Ich wollte mitmachen.
Kannst du noch. Kopf oder Zahl? Kopf oder Zahl? Komm, sag's uns.
So Mark all in. Holger shows.
So here we go. Gork at risk with the King 10. Canish with the 7s. It is a coin flip.
King 10. King of diamonds.
Holger, warte, komm rüber.
And just to be clear, when I describe that as inappropriate, it's not about Gork's behaviour with Sandra Noyox. It's about the fact that they are talking about the hand and whether they're going to call and what they should do in a 3-way pot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Queen deuce. We have 7s in the lead for Holger. He's a jack.
Oh,
Holger
outs.
got couple more outs. And One ace for a straight, a king or a 10.
Kings, 10s, 9s, aces, 5 on the river, and that will do it for Mark Gork. Our poetry reading friend is out in 3rd place. So, heads up for the title. Holger Kanisch and Sandra Neuox. Sandra with 2.5 million. Holger Kanisch with 4.1 million, so a sizable chip lead. $40.80 the blinds.
Raise.
Holger raise.
Obviously what we're looking at here, Neil, are the edited highlights for the TV shows. So we're only going to see a few hands of heads-up play. Joe's always asking me, in reality, was this a long heads-up battle? Was this a long heads-up battle? And with most of these events, my answer is I don't remember, so I'm going to assume it wasn't, because the ones that were really long, those stand out in my memory.
Yeah, I don't remember this one going fantastically late, but yeah, I mean, and especially when you get cooler hands like this coming up. It's,
I'm surprised they got to the flop without all the chips in the middle.
It's 225,000.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Kanisch here.
Raise.
Holger raise.
$750.
750,000.
Is this an act, or is she genuinely worried that he's like flopped something huge here?
Yeah, I think heads up, you've got to be confident of the races.
All in and a call, and Sandra Neuox is a 9-1 favourite here with 2 cards to come. But she is the at-risk player, and if Kanisch gets lucky and spikes a jack, it's over.
Let's see the turn. It's another 5. Yes. And here's the river card.
Sandra just has to fade a jack, which she does. She doubles up, and now she's the big chip leader with 5 million.
In fact, I'm sure, like, thinking back on this one didn't go that late, because I have a pretty clear recollection of the after party, which was one of the more interesting and bizarre after parties we've had on an EPT, involving a heavy metal band and a live snake display, as far as I remember.
Yes, the live snake show at the Titty Twister, the nightclub in Dortmund, modelled after the venue in the movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
So, during that little montage, Kanisch got the double up, and they're now pretty even in chips. Sandra with the slight advantage. It's 3.6 million playing 3 million. She's got ace-9 here.
Sandra raise to 300,000.
Raise.
Holger re-raise.
Kanisch 3-betting with ace-queen.
To 1,700,000 more.
A hand you are very, very happy to see at this stage. No problems getting it in. Probably ace-9 too, honestly.
Wow, all in and a call.
Ace-9 for Sandra. spade, 9 of clubs.
Hast du echt was gehabt?
Ace, queen.
Well, if Ace Queen holds here, Canish is going to have all of the chips.
Ace, deuce, 7 and 2 hearts. They're basically both players. Holger holds the better kicker, queen.
So Canish is the player all in, but they're close.
Incredibly close. Only 600k separates them at this point. 9 on the turn, though. Oh, domination rotation. And now Sandra Noyox, a 93% favorite to win.
Let's see the river card.
Queen.
No queen. She doesn't feel like she deserves it, but she is a winner. The champion of EPT5 Dortmund, only the second female player to win an EPT following in Victoria Coren's footsteps. Sandra Noyak.
That is super cool.
So remember, these are the advertised payouts, but we know that some form of deal was agreed between the final three. But what does go into the history books is that Sandra Noyox is an EPT champion. Lifting the trophy. The Black Mamba is victorious.
I think what went into the history books was actually nothing. I think they're all anonymous on the Hendon Mob for tax reasons.
These guys, interestingly, do actually still have their names against their results. So that will wrap our coverage of EPT Dortmund from March 2009, and that is going to bring EPT Retro to a close for today. Neil Stoddart, award-winning EPT photographer, thank you so much for joining us on the stream today.
No, thank you very much. I enjoyed it. It was fun to take a walk down memory lane, and yeah, good times.
It has been
Neil,
a fun
I miss
experience.
you very, very much. It was awesome having you today.
Cool. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, hopefully we can get back to some of that live poker business sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Neil. We will speak to you and see you soon, no doubt. And that is going to conclude our stream on YouTube and Facebook today. But we are going to keep going here on the PokerStars Twitch channel because we are going to be streaming a Cards Up replay of the Scoop final table from last night, the main event final table. This is the 10K buy-in version with a first prize of more than $1 million. So you got that to look forward to. As far as Retro is concerned, we have got the tail end of Season 5 next week, Joe. We've got 2 more events to cover. Wednesday, we're going to be going back to San Remo for only the second time the EPT went to the Italian Riviera. And then on Thursday, the Season 5 Grand Final in Monte Carlo. So a couple of familiar venues, a couple of familiar stops, and 2 more events to cover on Retro next week. But that's it for this week. Remember, Scoop, just around the corner.